Now, let's talk about living expenses in America. The US is one of the most expensive countries in the world. If you live or plan to visit in the US, it is very important to know your living expenses. The cost of living is the amount of money needed to cover basic expenses such as housing, food, taxes, and healthcare in a certain place in a certain time period. If expenses are higher in a city such as New York, for example, salary levels must be higher so that people can afford to live in that city. In a 2018 survey, Mercer, a global human resource firm, find that the cities that with the highest cost of living include Hong Kong, Luanda, the capital of Angola, Tokyo, Zurich, and Singapore, in that order. New York City was ranked the costliest city in the United States, followed by San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago, Washington, and Boston. Cost of living index compares the cost of living in a major city to a corresponding metropolitan area. The index incorporates the expense of various living expenses, creating an aggregate measure that workforce entrants can use as a benchmark. The rising cost of living has spurred debate over the US federal minimum wage and the disparity between the lowest salary allowed by law and the earnings needed to maintain an adequate cost of living. In 1973, Congress enacted legislation to address cost of living adjustment called COLA, cost of living adjustments. COLA adjustments for Social Security and Supplemental Security Income SSI benefits were instituted so that the payments keep pace with inflation. For example, in December 2018, the COLA was 2.8%, and the increased amount were to be paid starting in January 2019. Federal SSI payments levels increased by the same percentage. So you can find data about living standard in America at usafacts.org/standard living. So the Consumer Price Index, CPI, is a measure of the average change over time in the prices paid by the urban consumers for a market basket of consumer goods and services. Indexes are available for the US in various geographic areas. Average price data for select utility, automotive, fuel, and food items are also available. You can learn more at the website of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, bls.gov/CPI. The Economic Policy Institute updated its family budget calculator in March 2018. The calculator helps families determine how much salary they will need to cover the cost of living in 3,142 counties in all 611 metro areas. EPI's family budget calculators measures the income a family needs in order to attain a modest yet adequate standard of living. The budgets estimate community-specific costs for 10 family types, 1 or 2 adults with 0 to 4 children in all counties and metro areas in the United States. Compare with the federal poverty line and the supplemental poverty measure, EPI's family budget provide a more accurate and complete measure of economic security in America. For example, you can go at www.epi.org/resources/budget. Then you can enter a county like Clark County in Nevada. And then you can see in this picture that the monthly cost for one adult with no children is at least $2,701 or $32,410 per year. You can have other costs, there as well, like housing costs, food costs, childcare, transportation, healthcare, and other necessities, including taxes. You can go there and have a good idea about your monthly budget to live in the US cities and counties you want to move in. For example, for Los Angeles, California, you can see in this picture that the monthly cost for one adult with no children is at least $3,569 or $42,825 per year. Okay, so epi.org/resources/ slash budget. They did a study and a report. They found that San Francisco was one of the most expensive city for a two-parent household with 2 children, which will need a total income of $148,439 with a basic budget for expenses only. The least expensive metro area was Brownsville in Texas, where the same family would need a median income of $32,203. Interestingly, there is nowhere in the United States where a single adult with no children would be able to cover the cost of living earning only the minimum wage.